Hello and welcome to Unit 4. I'm really excited about what we're going to be talking about today. If I haven't been very clear or I haven't been good at portraying this message, I am most excited and get really passionate about helping you discover your unique gifts and rise up to your potential and the way that you are going to be blessing the world and changing the world for the better. And I think as we start to hone in and to start to notice the needs around us, we are given huge hints into what our part is and the talents we've been blessed with to help those people. And so for me, one of those things was when I would notice people not realizing who they were and not understanding their potential and the gifts they've been given. And so they seem to drift away from those in two ways. One of them was that they would distract themselves, or numb away these things with social media or TV or just not being really aware that they have incredible ways that they can make a difference in the world. And then the other way was just getting so busy with doing all the things and running everywhere and trying to be everything to everyone that they didn't take the time to step back and be like, what really is my part and what is really my unique way of blessing my family. It's going to look different than Joan's family next door or whatever, because we both have different gifts and we're going to raise our children in a different with those different gifts. And so stepping back instead of trying to do everything, doing those things that matter most because of your unique calling and work. And so it kind of stems from this perfectionism and this misunderstanding about what it really means to progress. You kind of think of progression as this do, and not so much of what it really is this becoming and being with the people around you in the present moment. So when I started to notice that this is something that bothered me and that I kept writing about and trying to share this, the things that I'd noticed and learned when I saw this in myself and how I was starting to try to overcome it, I wanted to share the story that kind of helped me see that I wasn't doing this very well, or that I hadn't been doing it. So if you haven't read the book Left to Tell by Immaculée Ilibagiza, I recommend it. It's really good and also really sad, so just be aware of that when you read it. But she had survived the Rwanda genocide, and when it was happening, she had to hide in this 3x4 bathroom away from the people who were trying to kill her, because there was a certain tribe trying to kill her tribe of people. And the government had given them permission and they had given them weapons, and there was just slaughtering going on around her. And she had been able to find a kind man who was willing to hide her and 5 other women in this tiny little 3x4 bathroom. So what they would do is they would take turns every 12 hours, like standing up and switching, because they were so afraid of being hurt. Even his family didn't know they were there. He had hid them in this little bathroom that no one ever went to, put a bookshelf in front of us so they'd forget about it, and just would feed them scraps from off the table when his family was done eating. And so they were hiding there for months, and then all of a sudden one day she hears this familiar voice outside the bathroom window. And it's this guy she had been dating in college. His name was John, and she hadn't heard from him at all. She didn't know if he was dead or alive, so she was so relieved to know he was alive and that he was okay. He wasn't in the wrong tribe, so he wasn't being hunted, but a lot of people from both tribes obviously had been killed, so she was relieved to know he was fine. And the man who was hiding her was John's uncle, and so he knew they had been dating. So when nobody was looking one day, he takes John in to see her, and he's so relieved to see that she's alive, of course, and she says to him, I know you can't come very often because the risk and everything else, but would you please write me notes? I would love to hear from you and hear what's going on and just hear from a familiar voice that, she doesn't know if her family is or if they're still alive or anything. She just wants to hear something comforting in this incredibly difficult time. And he says he will. And days go by, he doesn't write, and she hears them playing outside, and this is what she says about it. She says, I didn't expect him to sit around and mope, but carrying on the way he did beneath the window of my bathroom prison seemed highly insensitive. They were outside. She would just hear him laughing and playing and acting like he was on vacation. He said, he acted like he was on vacation while my people, were being slaughtered all around him, and his girlfriend was being hunted by thugs and killers. So she tried to be patient and have charity and try not to let these bitter feelings kind of overwhelm her or to let them come out. And then one day he was able to come and see her, and she asked him, what's been going on? Why haven't you been able to write? And he said, oh, this is his response. Well, I know one thing. There are no other men looking at you. And that's one less thing for me to worry about, right? Um, and so, of course, this was heartbreaking to her. And she says, with those words, John killed any love left between us. God gave us all the gift of love to share and nurture in one another. It is a precious gift, one that John had squandered. So, of course, when I read this, I just thought, man, what a selfish guy. I can't believe he would do that. But a little while later, I was studying, I was looking into the Rwanda genocide because I didn't know much about it until I read this book, and I realized that it had taken place when I was 16. I had no idea that this was going on when I was 16. I wasn't really aware of what was going on in the world. I was very focused on boys, what I was going to wear to prom, who spoke to who, the normal teenager things that teens tend to worry about, at least here in the area that I lived. And I I thought, was I really that different from John? Like, here I was. She was hiding in this bathroom when I was 16, thinking about what I was wearing to prom, and I had no idea. I knew that evil was out there. Like, my mom had grown up as an orphan in Mexico, living on the streets, and had difficult, awful things that happened. And I knew children were suffering. I knew that that was happening in the world, but I just never connected the fact that maybe I should do something about it. Like, I was just so busy with my life, and I knew that that was out there, and then someone should take care of it. But I didn't connect the fact that maybe I was someone that could do something. And I wondered, like, do I get so busy caught up in my to-do list and my kids and my life and the things that I'm doing that I don't do those little things. Like John, all he had to do was write little notes here and there, right? But he didn't take the time to do that. It was just a little thing. It didn't seem that important. And it's often those little things that nurture the love that makes a huge difference in the world. It has this rippling effect. And that's what I finished this with. I said, what could any one person do? The truth is that love has such incredible and infinite power. With it, we are capable of so much more than we realize. Not only that, but love has a rippling effect. I couldn't solve all of the world's problems, but I could do my little part to show I cared, to use the precious gift of love, like she says in the book, to share and nurture in one another. This is the great adventure of life for each of us, to share and nurture love in our unique way, each day in whatever circumstances come our way. Climbing daily to higher ground for a better view of what there is to do, seeing the part we are to take in doing those things that need to be done and giving it our all, to look into the faces of our family, our future family, our global family, and take a leap. So that's what this unit is about. We're going to start looking at our future vision, and tomorrow we're going to start looking at our motives. We're going to start noticing how those two can be meshed. And so the assignments today will be starting to look at that, because those really, really matter. Our motives lead to our outcomes. And so that's why we start there. We got to start like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And are these motives going to lead to the outcomes that I want? So it takes a little bit of digging deep, but I think it'll be really refreshing and fun to do. So let's get going.